Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies, strengthening your business while offering your talents to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hey, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network broadcast. And we're going to be talking about our blueprint, the marketing, communication, media, outreach blueprint. Deane is here. We're going to be bantering back and forth. Hey, as marketing and communications and media coaches, it's a privilege to be able to kind of tag team this and be able to help you with your efforts, whether you're leading a nonprofit, a startup, or you're a multi-hundred-million-dollar business, or working on a team that's really taking your company to another level. This is for you because we want to be brilliant at the basics, right, Christine?
Absolutely. Once you've got solid on the basics, then you can kind of venture out and get into some of the fun toys and different things that you can do. But you got to have the basics to start with. You got to build on that foundation.
Love it. Love it. So, well, let's jump right in. We have some visuals for you today. Get your notepads out, your digital note takers out, get ready. And we're going to give you a 4-step process that's going to take you from good to great when it comes to your marketing, communication, media, basic strategy. This is where if you don't get this foundation right, everything else will not work. Like, this is one of the reasons that when a company or an organization goes out and begins exploring how to take their game to another level, that they're not able to get there as fast as they want to because they forgot about these basics. Some of it you can do yourself. Some of it you need some team members to help you get it done more quickly, more efficiently, and better. But at the end of the day, somebody needs to do these things just to make sure. So let's see if we can bring up our visuals today and see how that looks. All right, good. I'm going to go to the next slide here. This is the Giver Marketing Blueprint. We're going to be talking about branding, visibility, promotion, and nurturing in that order. And there's a reason for that order. We'll talk about that later. But you can consider this a basic strategy or blueprint just to get you really dialed in. So, Christine, how has really enhancing your brand, your visibility, promotion, and nurturing helped you in your company, your actually development of your services to the public?
Right. When you start understanding that they all interact together and one without the other doesn't do you much good, you start realizing you're like, oh, now filling the holes on that marketing, right? A lot of times small business owners will be in a rush and they just kind of jump in and they don't necessarily have a system where it all ties together, and they'll be heavy on one and not on another, right? You can have a great brand, but if your visibility stuff isn't in place, right, they can't find you. If you're not promoting, right, they can't find you. If you're not nurturing them along, right, then you've got all these leads that you haven't nurtured and they haven't gone anywhere and haven't converted into actual clients. So all of these are absolutely essential, and you need them all to work together. What a difference it makes.
It does. And there's going to be tools and action items for each step. So get ready for some micro assignments that will really take you to that next level. So we're going to have some fun with that. Hey, we are a group of marketing professionals who help you. People like Christine, Deane, and myself are here to serve. You can reach us on LinkedIn. You can literally just look up our name. Christine's last name is Deane, so look her up that way. You can also look myself up, and we can always help you get your game to another level. And here we are. I'm founder of Giver Marketing Network, and Christine Deane is one of our amazing certified marketing coaches. And she has really taken companies and organizations, nonprofits, to a whole nother level. I've watched it. I've worked with her on some of these projects, worked with others in the same room together. And she's a big part of why we have broadcasts like what we have today. So super excited to help you get more than leads, right, Christine? It's a proven strategy for conversations with your audience and making sure that you're not leaving any stone unturned when it comes to those connections and communication with those people you want to serve. Okay, so we bring positive attention to causes and companies doing good in the world. That is our mission. And we are coaching centric. So oftentimes we'll ask questions. Why? So that it can go click and you understand what's happening in the conversation. It's not somebody preaching at you. Even though we're going to be presenting today, we still like to have a banter and ask each other questions and get into the real meat and potatoes of what's happening here. This is not a flyover so we can tell you something. This is an actual strategy that you can evaluate for your own organization, your own company or brand. It's proven that coaching produces 529% more ROI, return on investment, as opposed to doing it alone. You're not allowed to do it alone. That's part of our philosophy here is we want to help you and make sure you got the tools you need. And that's part of the reason for this visual presentation today that will help you get really rocking in that direction. Christine, do you have any thoughts about the tribe itself? Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, I love our group of just marketers. Everybody's got their area of specialty that they bring to the table. And one of the beauties of working with the network is when you're looking for something specific, chances are we have somebody who knows all about that, right? And that's the beauty. I always explain, we're kind of like a chamber of commerce for marketers, right? You've got all these different experts in the field. It's a great group of people that really want to help people succeed.
Yep. An industry specific organization that actually has each other's best interest in mind. So you can bring in 2 or 3 of us at a time, and we'll be playing nice together in order to help you in your efforts. We've seen companies 10x their revenue. We've seen companies really develop a strategy that they've never had before, reduce their stress as they're growing, which is hard to do, but we can do it together. So we're the highest rated reviewed marketing network of its kind on the planet. We have lots of communication, media, internet technology professionals that surround that marketing conversation. And we're just proud to be here with you to be able to share some of our core values, even collaboration, results, efficiency, attitude, transparency, and energy is at a high level. If you buckle up and get ready for this conversation, you're going to benefit because I know you're hungry, passionate, coachable, and able to really jump in with both feet. But sometimes we get frustrated with marketing, communication, media efforts and results. And how do you track this? How do you track that? We're going to give you some good information today, and you're going to be able to apply this, and those results will speak for itself. And you're just going to be knocking on our door saying, I want more of this. This is what we were waiting for. We have clients that have come to us and said, how come the other companies that I've worked with it seemed like they were selling smoke and mirrors or hype or this or that. Well, we're the do-gooders in the space. And so we want to give you what some would consider secret sauce or proprietary information or IP of some kind. We're just going to give it to you right now today. We're just going to show you what we actually do. Bob Berg is somebody we like to give a little nod to. because he's an original gangster in the marketing, sales, business development space, and he's written some of the most interesting and fun to read, keyword fun to read, resources on the topic of reaching out to folks in a way that's classy, relational, emotionally and relationally intelligent. Some would even say spiritually intelligent. So, depending on who you are. But here's the blueprint. Ready? Buckle up. After coaching and collaborating with thousands of causes and companies over the last decade, a pattern emerged. And the pattern is basically these four things right here that you see: branding, visibility, promotion, and nurturing. And they can look like a funnel if you think of it that way. At the very top, the first experience people get, there's some kind of first impression, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But then it drops into this visibility piece where people can now find you again and again and again very easily, and then you're then re-promoting or promoting back toward your audience. And so there's this loop of awesomeness that starts happening, but then that nurturing piece becomes key. It's where all the gold is, my friends. It's where all that beautiful dirt just starts glistening and becoming the appointments and the revenue generating activities that you want in your organization. So we consider marketing to be pre-sales communication. So we'll use terms like marketing, communication, media, even internet technology, as it supports all of that, all kind of interchangeable, because in today's modern world, that is exactly what is happening. And listen, we're modern marketing coaches. Christine Deane is a modern marketing coach. We're not doing things that people were doing 30 years ago. We're doing them in principle, but we're not doing the same methods. So you want to talk to somebody who's up to speed, like in the game, like right now, like new tools. Christine, can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, there's so many options out there. And so you really want to work with a coach that can help guide you and save you a lot of time, right? Trying to make your way through all the resources and all the options out there to figure out what's best for your situation, right? You really want to talk to somebody who's been there, done that, who's cutting edge and knows what's going on out there. You know, right now, AI is a big thing, right? So you want to make sure you're talking to somebody who understands how you can incorporate that into your marketing, right? Take advantage of the latest tools.
Absolutely. And if you want to learn more about some of the tools that are just coming fresh out the gate, look up AI tools on our YouTube channel. You're welcome to do that. Giver Marketing Network has a YouTube channel with 100 plus videos on resources and tools and guest presentations of people with great experience. So look up AI tools. We have some that we could mention, but we always like to just leave that open for you to be able to pick your own tools as we present them. One thing to note in this presentation, very, very important, is that marketing is not the same as sales, but they work together. It's like Christine Deane is not the same as Timothy Morgan, but we work together. They're very, very tightly knit, but they're not the same exact thing at the end of the day. They work together well. They improve quality and quantity of results if you bring them together well. Some call this business development. But at the end of the day, we are focused on the marketing piece, the top funnel there. So marketing gets you to that red zone if you're an American football fan or a rugby fan, like it gets you right real close to that scoring opportunity. But sales is what actually helps you punch it in, actually put the points on the board, right? So we are here to help set you up for success. So technically, prospecting is marketing. Prospecting itself in its purest form is marketing. And then you have the opportunity, the privilege, the classy experience of being able to match a product or service with the need that's very recognizable in the market. Okay. So here we go. Let's go. Branding, visibility, promotion, and nurturing is what you want to write down ahead of time. And then you can start taking notes. Who is your who? Christine, can you explain, if you're coaching me right now, like how do you identify who I'm serving? How how does that happen? If you're coaching a client right now, which you do all the time, how do we get to that focus?
Yeah, identifying who your real client is, right? And sometimes you have to go deeper than just surface level, like, oh, I sell facial products. Anybody with a face? Well, no, not anybody with a face wants your stuff. Okay. So you really have to dive in deeper than that. And sometimes you'll find that you have different product lines who have different audiences, right? So don't think of it as just one. You're going to have to break that down even deeper into the services and products that you're offering, right? So it's not a one and done thing. You really have to dive in deep if you want to get the kind of results that you're looking for.
Yeah, that target, that preferred audience, that who do we really want to work with? Whose problem can we actually solve? That's a felt need. What solution are we actually offering to who? Who is? It's not just an avatar. It's an avatar with the psychographics. It's with the details. What do they think about? What are they worried about? What keeps them up at night? Where do they hang out? Like online, offline? What a day in the life of my perfect client? What do they do? Like what is it that I need to know about them? And in today's world of data at our fingertips, it's actually easier than ever to find out who your perfect or preferred audience is. So that's the starting point for branding. If you don't know what that is, then go ahead and just push pause and connect with Christine Deane and go figure out what that is, because that will make a difference on the rest of this whole journey. Okay. And a lot of startups have a difficulty with this, but eventually you got to find it. Okay. So like, for example, the Giver Marketing Network, we work with marketing, communication, media professionals who love causes and companies doing good in the world. They say what they do what they say. They have a psychographic of integrity and do-gooder kind of mentality, but they're also experts and serious about what they're doing. And in a perfect world, I'm in front of a room, Christine Deane's in front of a room of lonelypreneurs in that space. They need a tribe. They need a group. They haven't found their people yet that they trust to be able to talk about all the unique aspects of riding this journey of building a consulting practice or a marketing related company or small agency even. And we just need some supporting pieces. That's our target audience. So that gives you just one idea. Christine can share a little bit of hers as we go along here too. But look, if you have branding consideration in your organization, there needs to be an enhancement of your brand. Otherwise, you could be losing as much as 33% of the punch and the potency of what you're able to bring to the market. You might just get lost in the sea of, okay, like, tell me why I should work with you. So, Christine, when we're talking about this significant increase in people being able to generate more revenue, companies and organizations really taking that to that next level, what do we need to consider? Like, what's the thought process here? Why does it generate so much more momentum when your brand is dialed in?
Right. When you've got your brand just on lock, right, and people know what you stand for, they actually come look for you because you're so well known for what you do. Right. So the more you're known for your specialized area, right, the more you become known for it. It's this whole catch-22 thing, right? So if I'm, for example, my business is the networking diva, right? People go, oh, I need to learn about networking. Gosh, I should probably talk to the networking diva, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty on point for brand, right? So it's going to be communications. It's going to be, okay, joint ventures. Okay, how to get in front of the right people. It starts making sense, right? They can tie all that into your brand, right? So the more you're known on your brand, the more people will come to you specifically for that.
Love it. And you can literally track this. Some of this branding conversation, the language around it is experiences and marketplace and reputation and what people are thinking or saying about you when you're not in the room. These are the kind of the language sets. And here's a great definition right here on the screen. But at the end of the day, it's what people are feeling and experiencing It's how their emotions come into play when they hear your name or your organization or hear about your team, and you start looking at things that really complement your brand. Like, for example, what good is a brand without clarity? Like, if you're all over the place and you're not sure who you're serving, then we got a problem, right? Or what if it's so boring? I mean, unless your company name is literally the boring company, like, uh, and even that company, and I'm referencing it in jest, even that company is super interesting. So, uh, creativity and bringing that imagery and that something a little different that goes, whoa, what was that? It's like a great comedian or orator. They're always giving you a little bit of something that's different or unexpected or creative in some way. And then that consistency where you're like, hey, we're not going away anytime soon. We're classy. We're here. We're easy to understand. We're creative. We're very clear in our messaging, but we're also consistent. So when you work with us, we're going to be consistent. So you're constantly putting out into the world what they're expecting you to do for them, and how you're going to serve them is just as important as what you're actually delivering. So clarity, creativity, consistency is a really good almost personality test for your brand. Like, ask yourself, okay, we have all three of these, but which one is an A, B, or C level? Which one's a higher level? What kind of grades do we get in these three categories? It's probably one of the more simple personality tests for your brand. And now remember, brands are like babies, so they're like your company is like a person. So you want to think of it that way, Christine.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, as you grow, right? Sometimes you might lose some of these and you might need to put some steps in place to reinforce them, right? Sometimes as people will grow, they'll bring in more team members and they start losing the clarity, right? Because maybe they don't have the systems in place to support what they're trying to do, or maybe they're losing the consistency because now they have more players and they haven't put the systems in place to support it, right? So as you grow your brand, right, you're going to have to come back and revisit these over and over again to make sure you're still hitting all those marks that you want to hit.
Well said. Well said. Well, let's jump into it. So we have the five senses. Branding is at its core the experience somebody has with you in the marketplace. Right now, you're experiencing us with at least two of these: sight and sound. You're watching, you're listening to this. You're maybe even pausing and rewinding and watching the recording, or maybe live. You're watching this, but ultimately you're using those eyeballs and you're using those ears to digest information. If you're a brick and mortar or you have physical experiences in person, you have to evaluate these last three for sure. So sight and sound is for almost everything we do. Smell, taste, and touch. I walked into a room. I'm part of a chamber of commerce here in the area that we're in. I recently walked into a room that hadn't been used in over 2 years. Okay. But now I was expecting to walk into this room and have a smell that we needed to address and basically refresh it, just get some air flowing and all that kind of thing. Well, I walked in the room and it was great. It was an awesome experience. It gave me an emotional boost as soon as I walked in that room, knowing that it had been taken care of, knowing that it smelled right. There was food in the fridge, that people had been taking care of that. The taste of that food was good. I was kind of taking a quick look at the doors and the walls and kind of touching everything. The carpet was clean. Like, if you could feel that it was clean, like there was a kinetic aspect to what was happening. If you know of a restaurant, a church, an organization that has a brick and mortar storefront, you need to evaluate these five things constantly and improve them. And if you do that, you will see your sales go up for sure, because humans have a way of analyzing something within just a few seconds and deciding whether or not they're going to spend a lot with you or as little as possible. There's one restaurant that I won't even name where it is or anything, probably in some other state, right? there's a restaurant that I won't go in. I'll go into it and I'll order a small amount because they have nice, comfy seating. But some of the other aspects of their business is not up to speed. So I just don't tend to spend as much there as I do at the restaurant down the street. They serve actually very similar food. And it's actually a very similar type of restaurant. But because of these nuances, I spend literally like 5 times as much at the other restaurant because I spend more time there. I bring more people there. I order more food there. And it's one of those things where if you're in a brick and mortar or an in-person experience, even an event, if it's just an event, you have to evaluate these 5 things. Otherwise, you may be in a world of hurt several years down the road and you're wondering, why aren't people in love with my space? Well, it's because you didn't evaluate these 3 things. I mean, little tips like if you have a mint, you ever wonder why restaurants always serve mints? It's not just for digestion or whatever. Like there's an actual scientific mechanism with certain foods like minty foods or minty snacks or mints. They actually help you remember the good experience even more. Some people use mints to remember things for when they're studying for tests. There's all these different scientific studies around this stuff, but we just want to give you the list in an easy form. So, Christine, you had something you wanted to mention?
I know for me, when I go into a place that has really strong smells, you might be in a motorcycle dealership. I won't mention which one, but they'll actually pump the smell into there. It just, smells like tires. And I'm just like, what? I turn around, I'm like, and I'm done. That lasted about 30 seconds, right? Or you go into a store and they've got incense burning so strong. I'm like, okay, there goes my asthma, there goes my allergies, bye now. I'd literally walk in, walk back out. So just remember, just because you really like something, be careful what your audience may or may not like.
Yeah. I know a lot of modern storefronts and in-person experiences will have some kind of screen on the wall where there's an ongoing video representation of what's happening or what they're highlighting. I went into a gym recently working with an organization in California, and their gym was needing some refreshing. So they put some like big TV screens on the walls, and they started having a loop go through and making sure that their visuals were just on point and coming through with class, and they all made sense and all that kind of thing. So any kind of video or visual experience that enhances your space or event is a big deal. It's not just who's showing up, it's what they're experiencing when they show up. Video is up to 50 times more effective than just a picture or an auditory experience. Both of those can be powerful too, but if you want to take it to another level, invest in some video equipment. Nowadays, it's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's literally less than $1,000, and you're up and running. So we highly recommend doing that. And it doesn't have to, like I just alluded to, it doesn't have to be, breaking the budget. You just start with what you got and start building on that, and then you're in a place where you can start rolling with the big boys and girls and have some fun together like we're doing right now. Christine, it's good to be able to talk about, what about authority branding? Like when we associate ourselves, like earlier, I just kind of dropped Bob Berg in the middle of our presentation. He is a huge influence on the name of our company, the philosophy, a lot of different things. There's some other names like Seth Godin and Simon Sinek and others too, but why drop names like this? Why associate with other humans in this? Like, why is that even a thing? Like, why do we even do that?
Yeah, we associate that, and you can take on the credibility that they already have. It's kind of like when you do warm introductions, right? Certain a lot of level of credibility that comes along with it. This is authority branding is like the old school influencers that we talk about nowadays, right?
Yep. We want to make sure and roll with the people that they can associate greatness or excellence or results with. And so it's super fun to be able to, even when you're sharing your story, say, hey, yeah, and then I was mentored by so-and-so, and this happened, and then this happened. And you start letting people know you're coming from a DNA, a an association, a family of people that are really making a difference in the world in a positive and results oriented way. We highly recommend, and we're going to challenge you to take an action item today based on this part of the training, and then we'll have to move really quickly, because branding is really one of those things where you could spend the entire hour on just branding. And we've done that before. You can go back and look at some of our videos, but we want to give you a flyover today. And here's your action assignment. Tell your origin story, your background with an aha moment, why and how you help the people you're serving. Give us a little glimpse into your journey. We're not talking about the whole story brand arc here, even though that does come into play later. This is literally just your elevator story. We don't believe in elevator pitches unless it's absolutely requested, but we do highly recommend practicing in the car, while you're traveling, between flights, like whatever you're doing. Tell your origin story to people. Practice it with people in your office. Have your office members practice the origin story of how you're associated with this particular brand, how you came to even find this particular company or start this particular company. I know for me, I was in the nonprofit world for years, ended up buying, selling, building some businesses along the way. But then I hit like this wall where I had said yes to so many things. I needed to focus on one thing. And I noticed there was a gap in the marketing, communication, media world where there needed to be some people that just said what they did what they said. And there were people out there. I just hadn't met too many of them. So I started doing that, became one of the highest rated reviewed marketing professionals in my space in the way that I did it in that coaching modality. And then I started meeting people like Deane and others, and we started teaming up and working on projects together. And then from there came this Giver Marketing Network. So now I build dream teams for clients. Sometimes they bring me on as a fractional CMO or a marketing director of some kind. But the key for me is that dream team. And so that's my elevator story. When somebody asks me to stand up in a room, or if I'm on a podcast, or if I'm a keynote speaker somewhere and I'm sharing kind of where I came from, you have to have that, be able to share that in less than a minute. Like, it's really important to be able to do that in about a minute. So that's the challenge. That's the story. The story micro assignment is your origin story. It's a short. Keep it less than 2 minutes for sure. And you get bonus points if you can keep it right around that 1 minute mark, because that's when people start going, okay, tell me more. I'm good with the story. Now tell me more. Like, they start wanting to ask you questions. Like, it's yeah.
That's right. You're basically grabbing their attention. It's just enough to pique their interest. They're like, ooh, I want to talk to this person. So just think of it as your teaser story, right? So I dropped the link in our comments. So click on that, go to our group, and come post your story in there. Share your origin story with us. We'd love to give you some feedback and suggestions so you can fine tune it. This way you can use that 1 minute you have. If you got trapped in an elevator with somebody for a minute, by the time you finish telling them about your origin story, they're like, hey, let's continue this conversation.
Yep. We don't allow for spam in our group, but we do encourage sharing your origin story. And it's actually more powerful. If you go into these groups on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, even other private groups that you're involved with, Chamber of Commerce meetings and groups and all the different things, whatever groups you're in, if you tell them your story before you tell them what you sell, that is setting the stage. It's almost like setting the stage for the meal. It's like preparing the expectation. And so we encourage this, but we don't encourage you dropping some random link of how somebody can buy your service. Like that's for specific days like Black Friday or other days, like we do that. But ultimately, if you haven't shared your story recently, jump in the group and just share your story. People will reach out to you. Just watch. Share your story, and somebody's going to reach out to you, because it became this magnetic, like, oh, I relate to that. I want to talk to you more about that. So it's super fun. So again, the two pieces of your story are your background with your why. It's background with an aha moment, and then you tack on your why and how you help the people you serve. And that's the basics. If you don't have that, and if you haven't practiced that, I would say you're losing sales and you're not being memorable. You're losing sales and you're not being memorable. You're losing funding and you're not being memorable. So make sure you have that origin story in your back pocket, ready to go, practiced hundreds of times. And it starts by practicing today. So go ahead and jump into that group, givermarketing.com/group. Will get you to where you need to go there. And we're glad to support you in that group in many ways. All right. So as we jump in even deeper, let's go to visibility. We're going to run through these last pieces because a lot of people get overwhelmed if it's too much at one time. So we're just going to do a flyover of this. But if you get your brand dialed in, it starts getting pretty exciting. Like you start feeling like you're dressed for success. Your company's dressed for success. Like we're ready to go. The confidence level's there. Now what do we do? What's the next step, Christine? How do we actually start making some money here? Like what do we do?
Right. Part of that is your visibility, right? Can you be found? If somebody were to say, I met this guy, Timothy Morgan. Let me see if I can find him. Right. And if they search for you, can they find you? Right. And if they can't, there's a problem.
Try it. Look up Christine Deane. Look up Timothy Morgan right now. Even while you're watching this, just look it up and see. And if you need to add a city or like look up Christine Deane, the networking diva, or Timothy Morgan, marketing coach, or however you want to look. Take any clue. The word giver. Just look that up. Giver Marketing Network, Timothy Morgan, Christine Deane. Look any combination of those words up. Close your eye. Pause this recording and then go look it up and tell us what you find and then reach out to us based on what you find. And we're always open to improving that, but we want people to find you in the same way. They just remember, like what Christine just said, they remember you from somewhere. They just need to be able to find you. So that's some of these places are like world directories. I mean, goodness gracious. If you have your own real estate online, aka a website, which costs as little as, gosh, even with maintenance and different, we're talking about a small investment here. I'm not going to give a number right now, but it's a small investment compared to what the return is you're going to get from
it doesn't have to be huge to start with, right? If you're a startup, you can go with something really simple to start with and then expand on it later, build something fancier later. But you want some kind of online presence, right? Pull out your phone, take a screenshot of this, right? And get your phone out, take a picture, and okay, these are the places I want to make sure my presence is known. Okay. Yep. And if you're not in one of those spots, you probably want to go see what you need to do to get on those spots. If you need help with that, we have experts to help you with these things, but you want to be found. These are the places where people are looking.
Yep. I was just talking to somebody yesterday and they ended up in a conversation with one of their dream clients because they built a website. They had a Google business profile dialed in and just some basic listings on certain platforms. And a little bit of something called search engine optimization, which is a part of this conversation, but just the basics of SEO 101 is what you're seeing right here on the screen. Like if you don't start here, there's no reason to do everything else. Like this is it. There's on-page, off-page SEO and all this other things, but ultimately you have to have the website first before you can play with it. You have to have your listings on some of these platforms before you can make sure they're all consistent. So all of that plays into the game. Okay. So if you have any questions about that, reach out to us. And here's a tool just to find out where you are. Givermarketing.com/visibility will get you to a tool that it has a free option to it. So it's like a freemium or a free option with an upgrade option built into it. But go to givermarketing.com/visibility. And you'll be able to run through and see where you're doing well. There's other tools like this as well out there, but this is the easiest one that we recommend. And then we can go from there as the results start jumping at you. And what you're trying to look for in that tool is a 0 error rate. It's hard to get there, but that's the goal. You at least have a finish line or a destination, a goal, if you will, for your visibility. Okay. And then another tool, we promised you some tools. So here, get ready. You start taking notes. Givermarketing.com/gbox. The letter G, the word box. Givermarketing.com/gbox will get you to a tool that will help you get your reviews, your kind words. If you want to give us some kind words today, on the lower right part of the screen, you'll see givermarketing.com/kind words. Share some nice feedback that you've seen from just even this presentation, or your relationship with Christine Deane or myself, and working together in some way, shape, or form, or somebody from the Giver Marketing Network. Share with us your experience so far there. Give us some positive or kind words. And by the way, that's a tip. When you're setting up your little short link or your branded link, use the phrase kind words, and people will be more likely to give you the positive parts of their experience. And we highly recommend that, because we've made companies millions of dollars because of their reviews online. Very, very powerful. And it's not just Google. There's other places too, but Google's the best place to start, okay? At the time of this recording, Google is the best place to start. Givermarketing.com/gbox will get you started there, okay? All right, a lot of people have questions about these things. Make sure your signage is clear. If you have a physical office, or you meet in a physical space for an event, make sure your signage. We're a part of an event where they're going to have 30,000 people come to one place over the course of a holiday experience, and those signs have to be dialed in. Digital, online explanations, addresses. They need to be clickable. People need to be able to put them on their maps. But then once they get there, that signage, that physical signage, needs to be really clear. Park here, turn here, go here, meet us here, entrance here, like the whole thing. And I don't know how many times I've been in an event, Christine, I'm sure you have, where it's like they just wanted to get you there and they forgot to tell you where to go once you get to the place. And so let's whether you're a church or a restaurant, or park a place where there's difficulty parking sometimes, or maybe you get so packed out. Where's the overflow parking? Like, all people out front welcoming you in. Those kind of things are very, very important, so that people can literally find you, literally, like not just digitally, but like literally find you where you're at. So that's an important piece as we talk about visibility. Okay, that's branding. And then visibility, which is being found. Some call it search engine optimization if you're heavy online, which you should be. But visibility is the way we explain that in a general sense. Promotion does matter, but spam is not allowed. Let's say it out loud together. Promotion matters, but spam is not allowed. Like that is just classy marketing. Like, just don't do the spam thing, okay? But we do want to promote. So what's the basics of a promotion? Sometimes it's a sale, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're just letting people know what's going on. But you want some basics involved in your reaching out. You're pushing your message out. Your promotion. You're bringing motion to what you're focusing on, right? So you want to have information, call to action, and engaging dialogue. So you want to inform, give a CTA, and engage with them in a way that's more like a relational starting dialogue, okay? So you want to inform with some great basic general messaging. Just let them know that you exist. You are in business. Like, you are a living organization. Like, make sure that they know you're around, okay? That's why we do these broadcasts. We just make sure that people know we're around. There's also other benefits as well. But call to action, like we just gave earlier, post your story in this group. That's a fun one, right? It benefits you. It benefits us because we have user-generated content, which is a conversation for another day. But give a call to action that's really clean, really easy. Click, 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 and done, right? Engage with some kind of dialogue. Christine, you're a masterette of dialogue. Can you please explain, why is this so important?
Engaging people, right? You're building that relationship with them. And so you want to let them know that you care. So if they go through the trouble to respond to you, shouldn't you respond back? I mean, that's the whole concept behind dialogue, right? So respond to those messages, respond to those emails, interact with people, right? Your whole reason why promoting is to encourage them to approach you. So maybe you should encourage that some more back.
By the way, side note, if you get overwhelmed, because what'll happen is your marketing, communication, and media work will start generating a lot of interest. When if you get overwhelmed with the amount of engaging dialogue that needs to happen, hire somebody to help you. That's a good problem. You should be making some good money by, at that point. Whether you're a sales professional or you're the CEO of the company, get somebody to help you manage that and make sure that you're being extremely efficient. Okay. Talk to Christine Deane about that. She knows how to set all that up. Okay, good. So measure your results. Ladies and gentlemen, you might not be able to measure everything, but when you start measuring some things, the patterns emerge very, 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 very quickly. So measure what you can, create a series of experiments like a scientist would, and then shift and adjust and change and repeat as necessary. This is an art and a science. It's both. Actually, most meaningful things in life have an artistic and a scientific pieces to them, a data-driven and an experiential. Some would call it a woo-woo part of the experience. It's usually with humans. It's both. There's some data to be analyzed, and there's some experiences to be replicated. So you want to make sure that you have basic things in place. Like, can you measure how many referrals were given to you last year? I can tell you right now, we're at a certain part of the year right now, whether you're watching this recording later or toward the end of a year. At the end of this year, we're on track to have 300 referrals. And so that is where we're at. Like, that's what we're measuring right now. Events, measure how many people are coming. Print, how many people are grabbing that, turning them back in, or grabbing that and mentioning them. Online, how many clicks, how many actually conversions coming all the way through your quote funnel or whatever mechanism you have. Almost everything we do online now has a funnel component. Like, we're getting them to a specific place. And so that's super fun to be able to track that. Yeah, how many folks are listening to your radio or audio experiences, your television or your live streaming experiences, some kind of video experience? How many plays, how many clicks? Is this worth having long term, short term? This right here, if you can measure just these things right here, just these alone, even if it's just your top 3 of this list, if you can just measure those, you will make 1% progress every quarter, 1% progress, sometimes 10% progress. I'm working with companies right now. They're seeing 60, 70% improvement in their revenue and their inbound results. There's a momentum that builds. And by the way, every healthy organization is built around referrals. Write that down. Put that in the comments. Every healthy organization is built around some version of a referral, a recommendation or a referral or an introduction of some kind. If you don't have referrals and you're not tracking them, you are not a healthy organization. I can't think of one company. I'm thinking of trillion-dollar companies right now. If there wasn't word of mouth, they would not probably exist in the way that they exist. It's super expensive to have a company built around anything else but major referrals. And so you want to flow with the referrals. You don't want to build something outside of referrals alone. You want it to complement your referrals. The core of your marketing strategy is word of mouth, period. And then you build around it.
I think what that really ties into is the current trend is the idea of building community.
Sure.
Right? It's not just referrals. It's the next level of referrals. It's community. They're all referring each other and bringing other people into your community, right? And they keep staying in your ecosystem, right? So it's not just referral and gone. They're staying and interacting within your community, within your organization, right? So
Well said.
that's
Nice.
the next level of referrals.
Yep, it's a referral community that continues on. Well said, because there's the one and done activities, but in today's modern era, there's you want some kind of rhythm of activity in these conversations. So well said. Referrals, you want to be able to track them, invest in your referral systems. There's ways to incentivize referrals. There's ways you want to actually budget for this, because it's such an important. And some people are like, I don't do marketing. I just rely on word of mouth. I'm like, what is word of mouth? It's marketing. It's the most organic, amazing, powerful part of marketing there is. So just build with it. Build something on top of your referral systems. And by the way, if you don't have a system around referrals, talk to Christine, because you need a system. Can you imagine taking your referrals from 100 to 150? What would happen? What would happen to your business? How profitable would that be for you? What kind of return on investment would that be, even if it costs a little bit of cash or time to be able to bump that up by 50%? What would that do to your business? Like, add 50% to your referrals from last year. What would happen? You need to really, really think about that. How do we light that fire of referrals happening in our community?
And how do we track it? And how do we make sure that we don't lose them and they don't fall between the cracks? You got to have some systems in place, right?
Yeah. Those systems are so important. Great point. Events, offer high value. Make sure you know who's coming. Make sure they know where they're parking, how to get to the tables. Offer them an experience that prepares them or gets them ready for that next step in working with you. Everything around marketing, it has to do with trust and attention. Everything around marketing, communication, media is all about building trust and giving and receiving attention. Everything around a business has to do with trust and attention at the end of the day. So we hope to be able to help you with that. Look at some of these funny examples of people using print. I remember taping printed pieces of paper on my shirt just to go get a free chicken sandwich back when I had a really young family, and we just all wanted to go find a chicken sandwich at one of the local restaurants. And this is an example of that. So listen, if you can get a bump in sales for foot traffic in like one day or 1 week out of the year, which happens a lot during holidays for some restaurants and businesses and online businesses as well, do it. Like, find a way to leverage print to complement what you're already doing, to complement the referral and the event and the contest type activities. Christine, you were going to mention something about contests.
Oh, I do love contests, and that's an area we'll have to do a whole show on that one. Okay. I think it'll be a lot of fun. There's so many. Think outside the box. Just going to say, think outside the box and think, what can I do that would be fun, that my people would have fun with, my community, my clients would have fun interacting with, my prospects, right? What would draw them in? So start thinking outside the box. We'll end up diving into that at some point.
Cool. So we have online pieces that we can go into another time, but of course, online is a big part of our world today. Any kind of audio or visual experience, you're going to want to share your story. And then as we wrap up, as we kind of land the plane today, don't forget to follow up with your people, okay? There's 7 basic tips, and these you want to screenshot, okay? Mm-hmm. 80% of decision meetings, sales appointments, sales meetings. We call them decision meetings around here, but because it's time, like, you got to make a decision. Can we help you or not? Like, do you want help or do you not want help? Like, it's really a decision. It's not, you're not forcing anybody to do anything. You're just like, look, we can solve your problem. Are you going to pick us, or do you want me to make a referral to somebody else? Like, it's really a matter of just solving a problem or alleviating a pain or maximizing somebody's results in some way, shape, or form. Look, 5 trust building interactions minimum. They can include, they always include an introduction of some kind. So you want to tell your story as quickly as possible. Make sure you have their contact information. You don't have to ask them for it. Just get it. Make sure if you have their name and maybe some basic information, you can get more data around who they are through LinkedIn, through socials, through other tools, Apollo. There's so many different data explorer. There's so many different tools out there. Brief email, social media connect. Some of this is so basic, Christine. We already do it. We just don't think of it as a system.
Well, and some people don't do it. They don't even think about it. They're like, what? But do you want to continue the conversation? Do you want to continue to nurture this relationship? Well, how are you going to do that? Right?
Well said. Yeah. So, hey, don't forget to give them something they value. If you're going to be at an event, invite them to an event. If you're going to, which we'll talk about in a second, but give them something they value. I know that certain holidays, it seems like every month there's a holiday. Find something that they've been asking about or they want, or they would find interesting, a hobby, anything that would help keep you top of mind. Invite them somewhere you're already going to be. This is your wheelhouse right here, Christine.
My favorite gift I got was a tiara. I'm just going to say, did they know me or did they know me?
Come on. If you can pick up, and in today's world, you're recording a lot of your meetings on Zoom and different things. If you can pick up certain clues and put them in the notes, ooh, that's powerful. People like to be heard.
CRM. Yep.
CRM. You let people take some notes somewhere. People love to be heard, understood, remembered. Heard, understood, remembered. Very, very important. Personal notes that just let them know that you haven't forgotten about them. Sometimes I'll even text people after we've gone through this whole process of like having these conversations and what are we going to do and who's going to start, who's going to do what, and I'll just send a quick text saying, hey, it was great connecting with you at that event, and I'm just looking forward to next Friday, or whatever it is, right? So just that little note lets them know they can get a hold of you, or this is how to get a hold of you. A phone call is great, especially if it's scheduled and it's super short. Don't leave long voicemails. Don't call people over and over and over again unless they're expecting a call. Don't bother them. But if you schedule it, keep it short, ask a few questions, swap stories, then you went from a 3 to like a 7 on the trust level very quickly. The art of the short phone call is actually really powerful. So
yeah, I just wanted to call and catch up and see how you're doing. What's the latest project? What are you up to? How can I help?
Yeah, and even if you schedule it, hey, just wanted to. I'm glad we could set up a time, catch up, see what you've been up to, share a little bit of what I've been up to, and maybe even find some introductions we can make for each other by the time we're done. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, really short phone calls are powerful that way. So great to mention that, Christine. Thank you.
This is my favorite right there. Well, no, you left it. Go back. There we go.
There it is.
Move at the speed of trust. Don't try to sell too quickly. This is my absolute favorite, I'm going to say, out of all the slides.
Yeah, there's a book about this by one of the Cubbies. I forget if it's the dad or the son. I think it's the son. It's literally called Speed of Trust, I think. So maybe look for that as a resource, as we promised to kind of mention some. Yeah, and eventually it's weird not to ask for the actual commitment. Like, did you want to go ahead and move forward? I asked somebody this yesterday. Which one? Did you want this one or this one? And it's like, because they already said, I want to work with you. It's just a matter of what at what level. And so post in the group some of these action items that you saw earlier, your story, your visibility results, a promotional piece that you're proud of. I'm not talking about spam. I'm just talking about something you want to get feedback on, or something that you're proud that you put together at one point. Nurturing. Let people know, what are my steps? Do I do phone call, then text, then email, or do I do email first and then LinkedIn message and then text and then a phone call? Like, what order do you do things in? That's a really interesting action assignment. So we're gonna challenge you to do that. And with that, Christine, you're right. We're gonna go right up to the last minute on this one. But hey, jump into givermarketing.com/group. It's our Facebook group. We have 1,000 or more people in there that are there to support you, whether you're in marketing, communication, media, or another industry. You're welcome to come and play and swim with us, and we're going to have a blast kind of doing that as we go along. But gosh, Christine, what's the last pieces that we want to leave everybody with? We had a call to action to jump into the group and post your action assignments, but any other resource? Oh, here you go. Tell us more about
if you're
that.
a marketer and or PR, you're in that space at all, come hang out with us on Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, we have our networking for marketers. givermarketing.com/networking. Come hang out with us, get to know, don't be a lonelypreneur. And this is a no cost. It's just our give back. Come be part of the community and have some fun with us. And make sure you mark the calendar. The second Tuesday of January every year, we have our marketing summit. So it's going to be a great opportunity to learn from 12 different marketers that are going to share their areas of expertise. And there's going to be giveaways and goodies and a networking event. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So mark that on your calendar. Second Tuesday of January. We will see you then.
Yes. We like to do those little TED Talks from our members and get them out there to share their genius and their expertise with everybody. And we do it all in one day. So it's super fun to be able to have a summit like you were alluding to, all just kind of back to back to back to back. It's like a buffet of awesomeness when it comes to our members really showcasing some value they can bring to you. You could probably grab those presentations, run them through some AI and build yourself a marketing plan pretty quick. I'm just letting you know, like, that's the level. Christine is going to be there. I'm going to be there. And there's others going to be there. So we're glad to be able to walk you through how to do that. Okay. So we'll see you then. And God bless you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great week.